welcome back to another episode of the Michael and Trevor Show. I'm Trevor.
And I'm Michael, and today we are doing a review of the new movie Sinners. I've been looking forward to this one.
Yes, we have. This movie obviously came out 2025, came out last week, right?
Yeah, it came out this past Thursday.
Yeah. This movie was directed by Ryan Coogler, who has done movies such as Fruitvale Station and Black Panther 1 and 2. Also directed the first Creed movie. This is a horror, adventure, action movie.
Yeah, horror, got a little bit of comedy, action,
Definitely
thriller.
a little bit of a musical as well.
A little bit of, brought in a lot of elements that, worked interestingly. We'll talk about it. Don't want to give away too much yet.
Yes, we will. And this movie was 2 hours and 17 minutes.
Yep.
And it was all of 2 hours and 17 minutes.
Yep. Mid-credit scene, post-credit scene.
Post-credit scene.
Which, funny enough, this is my second time watching the movie. I didn't realize the first time watching it there was a post-credit scene. I mean, the mid-credit scene was the important one for sure.
Yes.
But cool that Ryan Coogler, who obviously directed Black Panther, which... and
1 and 2.
1 and 2. Yes, and you know how those movies go with end credit scenes. So honestly, I haven't watched Creed, which he directed all the Creed movies, or 2 of the Creed movies.
1.
Oh, just the first one?
Yeah, just the first one.
Oh, just the first one. Not sure if there was one in there, but obviously this movie stars Michael B. Jordan, who's been in most of his movies, and Haley Steinfeld is the lead actress, which we'll get into her more. I feel like she played a fairly important role in the movie as the lead actress. There was a couple really interesting people in this movie, which we'll get into more.
Yes, we will. And this will be a spoiler review.
Yes.
So if you have not seen the movie yet, hit pause, go see the movie, and after you watch it, come back and watch it.
Yeah, for sure.
First off, the reviews were right. Let's just say that. This was one of the best movies I've seen in a while. Let's talk about why it was.
I mean, I didn't see too many negative reviews about the movie. I will say on second watch, that helped me a lot, and we'll get into our ratings later. It actually increased on second watch. There's just a lot that happens. I mean, do you want to just give like a small synopsis of what's in the movie? Let's see. We got a synopsis.
So, we have a synopsis pulled up. Why don't you say it?
Yeah, so trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil waiting to welcome them back. Which, if you watch the trailer, you know what that's going to be. It's about vampires. It's not really a spoiler, like it's given away in the trailer.
Yeah.
But when they talk about trying to leave their troubled lives behind, they're talking about Michael B. Jordan's character, which he plays 2 characters in this, which is really cool. Smoke and Stack are twin brothers.
Which is kind of funny because Smoke stacks.
Yeah, exactly.
So, good job, Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, that was good. And I didn't really watch the trailer, so I didn't know that was going to be a thing. So, at least for me watching in the beginning, I was trying to figure out I'm like, are these both Michael B. Jordan? And then I realized that because I hadn't looked too much into the movie before seeing it.
Yeah.
Did you know that going into it?
I did. I will, just because I watch a lot of like YouTube and whatnot. I will say this movie was originally not on my most excited for like lists of 2025.
Yeah.
But after seeing all the great reviews of it, I wanted to watch it. And I'm very glad I did.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we look forward to seeing movies every week. It really wasn't until a couple weeks ago, I guess, when we started hearing chatter. I guess people had seen the early screenings of it and like just said it was a must watch. And little did we know, yes.
So Warner Brothers did a great job marketing this movie. So props to you guys, Warner Brothers.
And this movie, I mean, let's get into talking about it just a little bit. I mean, it is like there is a big thing that happens obviously with the vampires and all that, which this is a 2 hour and 17-minute movie. You don't really get into that till over like an hour and 15 in it. It's a lot of build up in the beginning, which some people could say, okay, that's slower, but I thought it was really interesting. It's kind of like, you think of like how he directed Black Panther. I like movies like this where it's kind of like assembling the
team together.
Assembling the Avengers together is the whole like beginning part of the movie, and I really enjoyed that.
Likewise, yeah, I do agree with you on that. It was very cool. I kind of can see the superhero aspect to it of event or assembling the team.
Yeah.
And I will say, I know this is a little off track, but for me, I felt like this was kind of three different parts.
Yes.
So the first movie was like 1930s gangster somewhat movie.
Yeah.
Then the mid part, Act 2, was more of a artistic musical.
Yeah.
And there was a very cool scene in there. Why don't you tell them about that a little bit?
I mean, we'll get into that once we get to that part of the movie, because I mean, yes, what Trevor's talking about, there was an insane scene. It literally going to see it the second time was just amazing, because I could like prepare for it, and it literally just gave me chills.
Yeah,
knowing
I got chills too.
You got chills. I think I got chills the first time, but there's something about like seeing a movie the second time after you digested it, and you hear that scene. It's so hard to explain. You just gotta watch it for yourself. But yeah, there's a really great scene in the middle of the movie, which we'll talk about more. But I kind of skipped over it. I talked about the beginnings, assembling the Avengers, but I like the opening scene is actually, they show you something that happens at the end of the movie. Basically, you see Miles Campton, who, what's his character's name? Preacher Boy?
Preacher Boy.
Yeah. I forget what his actual name is, but it basically shows him the day after everything happens, because you see he kind of has like scratches on his face, blood, like something went down. And they get us with some jump scares. I know it got Trevor pretty good, just showing like a little bit of the vampires, and just gives you a little foreshadowing into what's going to happen. And then that beginning scene you see at the end too, so it kind of brings it in full circle.
It was nice. Yeah, it was a definitely nice full circle moment there.
Yeah. So I mean,
I don't know if you caught this, but Smoke and Stack worked for Al Capone in Chicago.
Yeah, they mentioned that the one guy who got shot was like, I thought you worked for Capone in Chicago, which I don't know too much about the whole Capone thing.
The Capone crime family.
Okay.
In the 30s.
I didn't know that. I didn't even know that was the 30s. I didn't know that it was that long ago.
20s, 30s, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
He ran Chicago there.
Yeah, well, they were kind of alluding to, like they did mention, it's like, they said, like, did you get your money from, they thought they won their money in the casinos or something, but it was like, no, they were gangsters, right? They were robbing banks,
yes.
Doing whatever.
Devious work.
Devious work. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool.
So yeah, I mean, like you said, you go to create the team. So you got the kid who could play guitar.
Yeah.
They were walking around to the train station. They found the old man playing the harmonica.
Yeah.
He said, "Can you still play piano? Still play the keys, whatever." They got him.
They got There was it was kind of, this scene was cool too. I know it's like things are coming up as we go through them. I honestly didn't even notice this on first watch. I don't know how. But there was a scene, there was one like Asian family in this whole movie, and the whole thing with assembling the team, it kind of like gives you insight into their past, Smoke and Stack, before they went to Chicago, like, and left their life back in Mississippi. But there was this one scene where he went up to his old friend, the Asian guy, I forget what his name. They didn't really mention names too much in this, but the daughter, he asked his daughter to go get the mom, which was actually working across the street. And I didn't realize this, but it was all white people on the one side and all black people on the one. You didn't even notice that on first watch, but that it's just like something you don't even notice, but a subtle thing, because they had their daughter walk across to get the mom to then come over, because like Smoke wasn't allowed to go over.
And there's a lot
just because of the segregation.
Yeah, there's a lot of undertones of racial inequality and religion in this movie.
Right.
And I thought Easter weekend was a fantastic time to
really
put this
interesting
movie out.
Yeah. Which probably was like a little bit planned.
It was on purpose. Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so many little things like that. You'll have to watch that back if you watch the movie
I will have
again.
to watch
just
that
like
again.
that little scene like that, they did a really good job with. But yeah, basically they assembled this whole team together for the first night at the jukebox, and that's kind of like act one or movie one.
Yes.
And then you kind of get into what do you get into after that?
It's like the artistic.
I guess
music
that's when the
area.
party starts
Yeah,
and
the
they start
party.
playing the music. And yeah, I mean, talk a little bit about your first reaction to that scene. Anyone who's
So,
seen the movie, you know what scene
You
we're
know
talking
what
about.
scene we're talking about. It was a very grand scene.
Yeah.
It starts off as what's his face?
Miles Cannon's
Cannon's character.
Preacher Boy.
Preacher Boy playing the guitar, singing. He's very, very great singing voice, so props to him.
He's got that deep voice. I mean, something about it. It's good.
Very, very good. And then goes from guitar, got a little piano in the background, and then you start seeing, traditional African American culture, back from like the whole headpieces.
Yeah, before the 1930s. We're talking like way back when, and then it goes
Yes.
into like you got the DJs. It's showing like
you have a
more
DJ,
current.
you have a 70s funk guitarist.
Yeah.
You have like DJs,
There
rappers.
it wasn't even just like black culture. It was also Asian culture
It was
a little
black
bit.
and Asian
They
culture,
had
yes.
I don't even know what to call it. I'm not like cultured on this,
Yes,
but
so
the
we don't mean to offend anyone.
yeah.
Sorry.
But the dancers, I think it was like the like Chinese New Year, how you have like the
The
all this stuff
traditional
going on. That's what reminded me of it.
traditional Chinese garments.
Yes, exactly. And it just like, honestly, I have to look more into it because there was like a voice talking and saying stuff too at the same time.
Oh,
and
such
I
a
was just
cool
trying to
scene.
consume, everything that was going on. I don't know what was going on, but it gave chills down my
It was
spine.
showing the lifelines of how African American and Chinese cultures were going to go through the decades, where it started and where it's at currently.
Yeah, where it's at currently.
It was amazing.
And as that scene progressed, and again, I'm just not maybe smart enough to understand what's going on, but it shows like basically the building burning down, which I don't know if it's like foreshadowing everything that's going to happen, but it kind of it's like it's not actually happening, but it's just like showing the building burning, and then you just see the vampires come in, and that's where basically the third act.
This vampire said, "We're here and we're hungry."
Yeah. And I love like the traditional, it's like your traditional vampire like stereotypes or lore, where it's like you got to invite them in. So there's some funny things with that.
Yes, you have to stab them with the wood.
Yeah.
You have to eat the garlic.
Eat the garlic. So
water.
All your traditional like vampire stuff.
And they're allergic to the sun. And guess how they die at the end?
Yeah, the sun.
The sun.
So
and stabbing people. So you had to get impaled with the wood so you wouldn't come back again.
Yes.
I believe. And like it did it. It got me whenever Haley Steinfeld's character tried to come back in. And I'm like, oh yeah, just seems like a little off for her character.
Yeah.
She's a little bit more aggressive than she usually was. And did they invite her in? Did Michael B. Jordan's character invite her in?
That's why you need to see the movie again, because there's just so many things it's hard to digest the first time watching it. She said, she was talking to Cornbread. She's like, Cornbread, you gonna let me in or what? And he's like, yeah, come in. Like it was.
Gotcha.
It's those little things that you don't like notice the first time around, because I think that was the first time someone was asked to like be let in.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why like second time watching it, it makes a lot more sense. But we knew she turned into one, because right before that scene, it showed the guy
just float, and I'm like, what is going on?
Levitating into the air, and then it just cuts off. But the movie was like, I would say the third act actually with the vampires is, as much as it was like a little bit eerie, I would say like that part of the movie was actually more funny once it actually started to happen, because you knew the buildup, what was coming, so you were just like nervous for when it was about to happen. But once it actually happened, I mean, it was definitely sad, but I thought it was like there was a lot of funny, just like comedic bits kind of throughout that.
And I was surprised they killed one of Michael B. Jordan's characters. I still don't know if it was Smoke or Stack.
It was Stack.
Okay, Stack. But yeah, Michael B. Jordan, half of him or one of them got bit by Haley Steinfeld. He turned into a vampire.
Yeah.
And it was Michael B. Jordan against Michael B. Jordan. It was kind of like Captain America against Captain America in Endgame.
Yeah. No,
like,
literally.
whoa.
And yeah, I mean, from there, pretty much everyone either turned into a vampire or died, except for a couple of the characters. I mean,
Well,
we said this is a spoiler review. I don't.
one character survived.
Yeah, which
Well, one living character survived.
and you already know who that is.
Not Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, you know that because you see in the opening scene who kind of survives.
But we didn't know that
Yeah,
to start off, and that's why I thought it was a fantastic film.
yeah. There was a lot of things. I mean, there's one of the biggest things, honestly. Now that I'm realizing how many minutes are we into this thing now? Like 15 minutes probably into this review. The biggest like twist or plot thing that you learn at the end is so Smoke and Stack bought this building basically from the I don't know,
It was
from
a Klans member.
yeah,
The Grand Master.
yeah, Grand Master
Whatever.
of the KKK. But in the beginning, he said like, oh, the KKK doesn't exist anymore, basically, or anything like that, which was a complete lie. We learn at the end that he had I don't know if it was his kids or someone in his family, someone he hired. He was actually going to have them killed, everybody who was at the bar. And I think it's like a reoccurring thing they do is they sell it to someone and then kill them and then just keep doing that over and over
That's so
to
messed
make
up.
money. But it turns out the people who were going to kill them, the vampire ended up killing them first. So, I mean, everyone ended up dying anyway. It was just in a different way.
Yeah.
But then at the end, Michael B. Jordan's character,
The living
Smoke,
one.
the living
Smoke.
one, Smoke waits for them to come the next day and pretty much just kills them all. Get his revenge there.
Did
and
you
then he
hear
dies.
that? I think they were in the World War One. I don't know if you caught that. I believe they both were in World War One, and that's how he was so good with guns. There was like a one sentence that he was like, "Oh, I remember in the war" or something like.
Well, that could make sense because it took place in 1932. I think. When was World War One? Like 1920.
Sure.
Sure. I think it was 1920. Well, it was in the 1920s. I know that, or 1919, something like that.
Sorry, we're not world history buffs.
Yeah, we're not world history buffs.
Should be.
But yeah, man, like overall, this movie,
It was
original
fantastic.
movie.
Yeah, very original movie.
Unique.
The mid-credit scene.
Yeah.
I was figuring out, could this movie be a sequel? Could there be spin-offs? No. And then the mid-credit scene happens and you're like, oh. And we're not going to spoil the mid or end credit scene.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about it.
We need you guys to go watch it because it puts a whole new perspective on the movie as well. But it sets up sequels.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, 100%. The movie's... So let's talk about this real quick. The Sinners so far, over the weekend, it made $63 million globally. Which, give me one moment here, maybe. The budget was estimated around $90 million, not including all the marketing and whatnot. Worldwide gross so far, it's at 71 million.
So fair to say it's going to make its money back.
Absolutely. This
And
movie, I don't know if this is going to be a $1 billion movie. I could definitely see it making a, $400 to $500 million.
Yeah.
It has legs. People are talking about the movie.
Oh, yeah.
It depends on next week to see if how much it dropped. If it's a 40 to 50% drop off, I think we'll hit it.
I mean, the theater we go to, like, it's usually honestly not that busy unless you're going to like an Avengers movie on the opening night or like something crazy like that.
Mm-hmm.
We went on a Tuesday night at 6:30 p.m. and there was a good amount of people in there. Like, not a lot. There was probably like 20 people there, but for our theater, I mean that's a lot on a Tuesday night. We go to movies. If we go to a movie on a Tuesday night, usually it's probably like maybe 5 to 6 other people in the theater. If that. Yeah. So people are watching this. I mean, it's gonna kill on streaming too once it comes out.
Yes, it will. Literally in theater.
And I guess if it does the money, that's when the studios want to make sequels if the first movie does well. So I guess I could see them doing that.
I do have a fun fact for everybody about this movie. So Warner Brothers allowed Ryan Coogler to actually take back the rights to this film to the Coogler family 25 years, so in 2050. So Warner Brothers basically saying, okay, in 2050, we're giving you the rights back to this film. Which is the first of its kind for any sort of movie, which is kind of cool.
What does that mean, though? What's the point of doing that?
So let's say in 25 years, it's still selling, this is going to be a classic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's still getting Blu-rays. It's still getting shown on TV. They're going to make all of the money.
Wow.
Not Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers says, we'll make as much money as we can now. And to get an acclaimed director like Ryan Coogler in to direct this, it's boosting their stock so much of Warner Brothers because they've been on the decline for so long. And this basically could set up, because they lost Christopher Nolan to Universal.
Yeah.
So they have their big director now back at the helm. So we'll see if Warner Brothers now, especially with the Warner Brothers movies like the DC heroes, they're coming back this summer with James Gunn's Superman.
Yep.
So we'll see we won't know.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know.
It's very, very interesting. I will say, Delroy Lindo, who played the harmonica player, I could see winning an Oscar or Academy Award for Best Supporting Character.
Best Supporting Character, I was going to say, I totally could see that. I don't think he's going to get nominated, but I don't know, because it felt how much people are liking this movie. I could see it.
And he got snubbed.
I think he should. Yeah, kind of as for him getting snubbed.
But it doesn't matter if he got snubbed or not. He did a fantastic job.
He was great.
Same with Michael B. Jordan. Playing dual roles of Smoke and Stack.
Yeah.
So,
I wonder too, I just think of I don't know too much about Ryan Coogler, but I wonder if he always planned on Michael B. Jordan being two characters. I don't know, this is just a crazy insight, but you think of Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, bro. Do you think when he started to write this movie, way back when, that was a thought in the back of his head? Chadwick, wasn't he a musical guy a little bit? Or no? Well, I guess
he was in
his
Maya Rainey's Black Bottom, I think it was called.
Well, his character wouldn't have been the musical guy. It would have been. I was thinking maybe if him and Michael B. Jordan would have been Smoke and Stack, but maybe it was plans all along to be twins. I haven't looked nothing to it.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything.
That'd be interesting. I do wonder how long he's been thinking of this concept. There's just so much involved in it.
And it's a very original movie for it being a quote unquote vampire movie.
Yeah, not your typical vampire movie.
Not at all. So let's get into rankings.
Yeah.
So Michael, your second view, let's talk about what stars.
So originally, after the first watch, I did really like the movie, but people were saying it was one of the best movies of the decade so far. I was it was good, but I felt like it didn't do that for me. Then I let it digest for a day, and I'm like, you know what? I need to see this movie again. And Trevor hadn't seen it yet, so I'm like, let's see it again. Second watch, I moved that rating up from a 4 to right now I'm at a 4.5.
Whoa!
As my score.
Whoa!
And for anyone who knows, a 4.5, also I guess that's a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
It doesn't sound that good, but I only have I'm a tough scorer, so
yes, you
4.5. I probably have 4 movies I've rated that, and only 1 5-star. But I do love original movies. My favorite one is Parasite. This, honestly, 4.5. I might be rough on it. This could easily be a 5-star movie. So I'm at 4.5. Might need to watch the movie a third time, but yeah.
Yeah, and so my review for the first time watching this, I'm giving it a Trevor approved 5 out of 5. What's new?
No surprise.
No surprise. 2 5 out of 5 movies in a row. Warfare and Sinners. So far, I do think Sinners beats out Warfare for me personally.
100%.
It's a different type of film, but overall, Sinners has a little bit more rewatchability and a little bit more of a deeper dive into the story.
100%. Yeah.
I could see this being my favorite film of the year. But who knows? It could be top 5. It definitely will be top 10, unless something astronomical happens, which I don't think so.
Honestly, like, and we talked about it a little bit after watching it. I mean, some people were saying like movie of the decade, or like of the post 2020, post COVID, basically. I mean, it's definitely up there.
Definitely up there.
To be fair, I mean,
top 10.
One of our favorites was Oppenheimer. We saw that in IMAX. If we saw this movie in IMAX, and they filmed it, other thing we didn't mention, they filmed this in IMAX, so we could have actually seen it there. So maybe a third watch.
Who knows?
Watch in IMAX.
I'm okay with that. Do you have any last things to add?
No, just go out, see this movie if you haven't. It's a good one, unexpectedly, and looking forward to. Let's see, what do we got next? What are we reviewing next?
Probably.
Well, next movie, at least the next movie I want to see. I saw the first Accountant movie, so we want to see Accountant 2. Also, though, in our Regal, I don't know if this is just a Regal thing or just movie theaters for the 20th anniversary of. Is it 20th anniversary of this specific Star Wars movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you say you've been excited for these Star Wars movies?
Yeah, I'm never seen Star Wars before, so I'm like watching them all now, and it's getting me hyped. So I'm gonna see Star Wars. What is it called? Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith for the first time in theaters.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have you seen that movie? You've probably seen it like 10 times.
At least 10 times.
At least 10 times.
Yeah.
So you get to watch it 11th time this Friday with me.
I'll take it.
So that's what's probably coming next year. You guys can look forward to.
Well, thank you guys for watching and listening. And my name's Trevor.
And I'm Michael.
And thank you for listening to the Michael and Trevor Show.
And we'll see you next week. Peace.